Hi, and welcome back to Community Storytelling Season 4, brought to you by our very own Linda Lester at Leicester Square. I'm Lissa Kreisler, and so happy to be with you today. And I have one of my favorite people sitting next to me, and she's probably your favorite person too. Everybody in Los Gatos knows this woman. Everybody in Santa Clara Valley knows this woman. Helen Owen, Helen Marchese Owen. I don't know how to start. I never do because we're friends.
I just love seeing you. I loved seeing how happy you are with your grandchildren at Solvang this weekend.
Aren't you one to talk? I mean, look at your grandchildren.
It's the best part of life.
Well, should we get this out of the way because it's kind of like the elephant in the room. And last time I had you in here, you were with dear sweet Eddie. And that, how many, is it 2 years?
So Eddie's been gone 2 years and 3 months. And unbelievable to think that it's that. But we went from the first 6 months of him being gone to the first of everything to COVID, to politics, to my son who has full custody of 4 girls being out of his home in Boulder Creek for 4 months.
Yes, oh my goodness.
So
did they all move into your house?
They moved into my house, but I also had some others from Boulder Creek area, plus our place in Seascape, and he had great insurance. They rented a second place at Seascape for them.
But look at you, this little woman. How tall are you? 4'8"?
Well, I was 4'10", and now I'm only 4'8".
Okay, I was 5'2", and I'm only 5 now, so it keeps getting worse and worse. And do you mind if I ask your age? I know that
I
is so
just turned
impolite.
75 August 3rd.
And to have all of this and to lose the love of your life.
Well, we were together 55 years, married almost 53. And we were best friends as much as lovers. So
I don't think I ever saw you apart.
You know,
I don't think I ever saw you without Eddie and Eddie without you.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask what's it like?
So it's very difficult. I talk to him all the time, and what I started doing because of COVID, I just was in my yard more. Then I also started writing the book of Storyworth. One of Dominic's friends gave that to me the first Mother's Day without Eddie, and I have done 52 weeks. We're now in the process, Ishel, who gave it to me, we're in the process of correcting each chapter and putting the pictures with each chapter, and I ended it because they ask the questions, but also you can have the last question is actually doing a letter to each of my children and each of my grandchildren.
Oh, now I'm going to cry. What was that experience like?
But you know, it really helped getting through the loss of Eddie and getting through COVID, because I really tried to stay in the bubble of our family and our closest friends. And I went from walking 6 miles a day to 12 miles a day.
Well, you're going to disappear soon, so let's go back to 6 miles.
I just get stronger muscles.
I don't know about that. You know, I was a widow at a young age.
Right.
My husband passed away when I was, I wasn't even 50. And the nights were the most difficult.
They are.
It's quiet, it's dark, and I was alone and you're alone. And that during the day, you know, it's the hustle bustle, and you can kind of mingle and you can fit in places, and nobody knows anything about you. You're just there, but at night you're all alone.
I watch a lot of Netflix.
Yeah.
Because, well, at first when Eddie passed, I didn't even go to bed. I just slept in his recliner. But then after 3 months, I made myself go to bed. But I wake up at 2:20 almost every day, but I make myself stay. The earliest I'll get out of bed is 4, but average 5 a.m.
And what is it, at 2:20, did that have any significance?
It just seemed like it would, I don't even know why.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, the last 3 months, or the last 100 days of Eddie's life, I slept in the hospital room.
Right.
So.
Do you have any words of wisdom that you could give to, you know, a woman who has just, or even a man who's lost his spouse? I mean, anything that you've learned along the way that you could say, look for this or do this or don't think of this?
Well, the one thing that you want to make sure you do with your spouse, which either one is really sick, always be there and never leave the room without saying, I love you. And then when you've lost it, it's not, you need to talk about him. You need to talk about him or her. And I'm really fortunate that I'm close with my family and some close friends. It's okay to feel sad, but it's great to have the great memories. And I have also put together a book for each one of my grandchildren, but I don't give it to them until it's a book of photos, but from birth to then, so they all have happy times with showing the pictures with their grandfather, which they called Poppy. And each birthday that's happened in this next year, they get one. So our son Dominic, who has the four girls, it's his 50th, September 26th. And but it's really important, like when we do holidays and we make a toast, each one tells of a great memory with their grandfather or with their father. And you need to keep that person alive in your heart, but also in your household.
And what about, you have this huge house and it's just you. Do you still start Christmas right after Halloween?
Yes, and I'm decorating every room, and you all are welcome to come see it.
Oh, we'll have a party.
And anybody that wants to take a decoration home with them, I tell them, because I've collected basically since I was 5. My brother did not want, when my mother passed, I have hers, although I gave every niece and nephew and grandchild some of the collection. Yes, I decorated, I just finished decorating for fall and Halloween. I have the final touches to do in the next 2 days.
Now, do you go into every room in the house?
Yes, I do.
You do.
I do.
Now, how did you learn to be such a giving, wonderful, sweet person? I mean, was it your mother? I mean, where did that come from?
I think it started actually not just with my mother, but my grandmother on my father's side. She was 13 when she came here from Italy, and my grandfather married her. He was 18, took her out of an orphanage. My grandmother was the most giving, loving person, would be up at 5 a.m., cooking for everybody. But those grandparents, my grandfather died young, but everybody that came from Italy had a place to live until they can get on their own. And then on my mother's side, their house was right by the Santa Clara train station on Lafayette Street there in Franklin, and all the hobos that came to the door.
I love that, hobos.
Grandmother fed. My grandmother would feed. They were hobos, not homeless at the time.
Right.
But, and I just think, my mother got involved with early with Cupertino Women's Club that worked with the mentally and physically disabled, and we all love people. We, in growing up in farming, everything was on a handshake. Somebody needed a tractor, you gave the tractor. Somebody, you're just there for each other.
And you never lost that.
No.
And Eddie was exactly the same way.
Yes.
And the two of you were on, I don't know how many different boards. And
way too many.
Well, which ones are really in your heart?
Well, in my heart is really the JW House.
Which is how I think I got to know you.
Right. The JW House. American Cancer, because I've had cancer, leukemia in the family. American Heart. I don't do a lot of fundraising in that, but great support. My last, in my own culture, it's going to be Little Italy San Jose, which hopefully the Cultural Center will be open in 2022. And then, I've known Pasquale since, now Pasquale is going to be 45, and I met him when he was 20. And
so many of us know Pasquale, but for those who don't, tell us about Pasquale.
So Pasquale is the Italian tenor that a long time attorney here, Al Rufo, somebody that was working for Al Rufo, went to Italy, met Pasquale. She kind of fell in love with him.
I can
Pasquale
understand.
asked, how do I get here? And she said, put your name and number in a lotto, and he won the lotto. But he grew up with Aldo from Aldo's restaurant.
I did not
in
know
the same
that.
town. And
So they knew each other?
they knew each other. So Aldo had me come to the restaurant to meet Pasquale. That's when Aldo had the little hole in the wall over here.
Unbelievable. Well, and I think I was maybe the first person. I was MC of a Valley Monte League event.
Yes.
And Pasquale was singing.
Yes.
And I think maybe that was his first time on a really big stage.
It was.
And I got to introduce him. So I kind of feel like I had a hand in all
You
of this.
did have a good hand in it.
Oh my gosh.
You
know,
did.
we've never had Aldo in here. We got to do that
Oh,
someday.
I think that'd be
The
great.
stories you two must share.
Oh, yeah, we have a lot because we did a lot from small to big, right? So,
How often are you eating at his restaurant?
so Eddie and I used to go to the big Aldo's probably twice a week.
The one on
minimum.
Winchester.
The one on Winchester. Ever since COVID, I average about once to twice a week sometimes at the cafe. But Dominic just said today, so my younger grandchildren, 2 of them grew up making their own sundaes in Aldo's kitchen at the original one. And yes, they got pretty spoiled. Jolena, who's now 16, and Cheyenne, who's going to be 14, that was their favorite part, was to go make it. But Dominic said, you know, Mom, let's go with the girls for my 50th to Aldo's.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Now, when they get the Cultural Center open in Little Italy in San Jose,
Right.
is there going to be some big plaque for you? You have been the prime person behind that neighborhood.
So we do have some family plaques. There is a plaque that has both Eddie and I on it, but also the DiNapolis and the Mellahans and the Marcheses. We've been collecting the old labels. We're going to have recognition of a lot of the Italians in the valley that started in the farming industry.
Amazing.
But yes, I'm still the advisory chair for Little Italy, and Josh is still the president. And we're hoping, you know, when we cut the ribbon, where it was 13 of us, like John Sobrato, and we had Josh, and the mayor was there, but we're hoping we could have some big event. You know, you
hopefully
plan
by
it,
then we can.
you plan it, but then just like when they said that the Los Gatos Parade got canceled, I was going to do the Heart Walk in the Rose Garden October 10th, and they decided to cancel the Heart Walk.
Yeah. Let's talk about COVID for a while, because you are a businesswoman. I mean, you started in farming, and there's Marchese Properties now, and I think you have several developments.
So we went from farming to doing the 1031 exchanges, which we did. There was many family members that owned in the ranch, but my father had passed. My mother, my brother, and his wife Lissa, and Eddie and I went in together. So we have a couple of shopping centers, and we have the one good one we have, they've signed the same lease for 27 years, is Apple on Bub Road, and then we have a couple of warehouses. But COVID has hurt.
Yes, tell us about it.
So my family, we've always worked with our tenants. So
Why doesn't that surprise me?
So we have more tenants that cannot pay rent than can. Some are struggling. You know, we gave a lot of free rent in the beginning. We have a payback plan, but we did let 5 tenants that had young children. They were their business was either tutoring, stuff that they wouldn't have. We let them completely walk away from their lease. Then the others, we have Grand Dynasty, which is a huge Chinese restaurant that could hold 500. They were supposed to open August of 2020. They're hoping to open October of 2021. We have given them free rent all this time. They were supposed to start a year ago. So now we're letting them wait till their day they open. We help them with their roof. We help them with their air conditioning. The grocery stores have done well. Cicero's Pizza. Calabasas Cyclery has never, in 29 years, never had so much business.
Yes, yes. I think the same can be said about the 2 bike shops here in Los Gatos.
Right.
Yes, things have been good for them.
Right. But because of that, also, even though we've given to charity for so many years, but at this time we had to just stop everybody, including Sacred Heart Nativity School, which Father Pap started, and then Cristo Rey and Pasquale. At this time, we just, even though we're dearest of friends, we still have to look out. We're working for our tenant, get that business back up, then give back to the community.
But yes, you need to survive.
Yes.
You know, I know there's been a lot of resentment, you know, with some of the tenants like in town here, and they'll say, well, the landlords, you know, they're not helping us out.
Right.
But, you know, it's a double-edged sword. And some of the landlords probably could have been helping out who have not been.
Right.
But at the same time, you know, we all need to survive.
That's right.
We're all dependent on each other.
Right.
And it's been tough. But here you are still smiling.
Well, and I do have one thing to say.
Please.
When you asked how did I get through these 2 years and 3 months, so Father Peter Paps, who always was a brother from another mother, we say, since the day Eddie died, he's only missed 3 weeks and 2 years and 3 months of coming to my house one afternoon a week. At 3:30, he would have a glass of wine or maybe a few, and I would have lemon water because I will fall asleep by 5 then. Or we've gone to dinner. So, and he's done special masses in my house for my family all through COVID.
It's when you find out who your friends are.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Right. What else have you learned about yourself since Eddie's died? I almost can't even say that word. I'm sorry.
Right. That's okay.
But
so I learn if I really focus and put my mind to it, there's almost nothing I can't do. But I will be careful. So I never got on the tallest ladders in the house and changed the filters. But I do it, but I have, like Teresa, who's been there, right? And then I've learned to do some stuff mechanically that I never thought I would ever do.
Oh my goodness. You can call me.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm any better or of help, but maybe I'm 3 inches taller.
Right,
So
that's right. That's right.
I could do that.
Right.
And you just amaze me. And I think everybody know, well, nobody would really know this unless they're close with you, but you drive over 17. Here's this little lady in the big Cadillac or Mercedes.
Because I feel safer in Eddie's Escalade driving over the hill. And, you know, it could be 3 to 4 times a week.
I worry about you doing that.
But I don't come home at night. I'll spend the night either
All
at
right.
Dominic's, or I will say I can't go and just stay home.
I mean, it's just, and we've had so many crashes.
Yes.
And they're not accidents, they're crashes.
No, they're crashes.
They're crashes. We have had so many the last
Yeah,
few months.
I know.
That it's so frightening.
I know.
I mean, aren't you frightened?
Oh, I am. And the good thing is I don't have to go as much anymore because even though they pay on traveling softball teams, they got on a team that's more localized here because the San Lorenzo Valley one didn't start up, and 2 of his daughters got recruited from a Los Gatos San Jose team. And so I can go this way more, which is such a great job.
Do you think you'll ever start traveling again?
You know,
you and Eddie used to go to Italy quite a bit.
Right, and Samira and Pasquale were hoping that I would have gone this September for their 10th wedding anniversary, but I think I'll try to go next year if things are better. So I did take the entire family. We were supposed to go to Maui for Thanksgiving 2020, so July 23rd of this year to the 30th, 13 of us went. What an experience. Never been on the airplane for all these months, getting 13 of us through the airport between your vaccine cards and everything else, and even check-in at the Marriott. I had 6 villas. You have to give each person know which one in the room has been vaccinated. And then our dinners, we were 3 tables. Only one place would put us all at one table. And at almost 75, I wasn't 75 yet, they convinced me to go in the mud on the AVs for 2 hours.
Oh, that I wish I saw pictures
So,
of.
yes.
Yeah.
So I did that.
What do the grandkids call you?
So, they call me Golden Gramps.
Golden. Oh,
And they used to call Eddie Poppy.
yeah, yeah. So what's left? What are we going to do next?
I think we have to find the positive that's going to come in 22, 23, but I do think we are going to be in this situation, maybe needing to have a mask on at certain areas all the time. Everybody needs to know to be careful. If you feel sick, please do not go out in public. Protect our children. I'm really scared because it's so many of the young ones are getting sick. And, but I think we have to look at, we might need to plan smaller fundraisers. We should never give up on having them, though. We should do it in the best way, the safest way. And I think everybody needs to know to be kind to everyone.
Take it from you. You know, if anybody knows, Helen Owen knows. You are such a wonderful person, and everybody who has dealt with you, it's funny when I'll say your name, and everybody knows you, of course, and the words that come out of their mouth. I mean, you are what we just could see from this talk. You are so generous. You are so giving.
Well,
I hope you.
But
feel
I love you.
I hope you feel you get back.
Oh, I do. I do. I feel I have so many great friends, and I just and my children. I just hope that someday my grandchildren will all want to do something, and that's kind of in each one of the, because each one that I've written to, the older and the younger, to find one thing that you want to do and give back in the community that kind of carried through from me or from Poppy.
I think it's going to happen.
You know.
I think it's going to happen. And Eddie,
Oh.
we think of you all the time. You are so missed.
So you would love to know this, and Eddie smiles over this. Remember all his Robert Graham shirts?
Yes, I was just going to ask you about his clothing.
So all his Robert Graham shirts, I did let Pasquale, Paul Luke's, Mary Gottschalk's husband, my sons, they were too wild for them, won't wear. But my oldest granddaughter, Kayla, had a friend in her office that does quilts. All my grandchildren, myself, my 2 sons, and a couple of the dearest friends have quilts out of Eddie's shirts.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! My daughter had a couple of pillows made of Mike's shirts and ties, and they're on her bed, and it just kind of throws me every time
special.
I walk in. But it's so special to her.
It is.
Yeah.
It
and
is.
what about all his hats and his boots?
So all my grandchildren, so his hats, all the grandchildren took. Pasquale took one. The boots Pasquale has. And then I still have 2 of his hats out of my lampshades.
Love it.
In the bedroom.
Love it. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad you let us talk about him.
Oh,
I really am.
he's
because
smiling. He loved
is,
you.
Well, who didn't love Eddie Owen? Who didn't love Eddie Owen? Bigger than life.
So bigger than
You're
life.
this little tiny thing, and then there was Big Eddie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big Papa. Yeah.
He's
Poppy, I
smiling
guess
on
it
you
was
right
Poppy.
now.
Yeah, yeah. Helen Owen, I don't know, you are a treasure. You are a treasure in this town. I'm so glad we have you. You're a treasure to so many nonprofits. And like you say, even if you're not giving money, you're giving support, you're giving time, and you're just putting the word out there. We
All the time.
We need you. We love you. Oh,
I love you.
thank you. Okay, let's go. I feel like I'm gonna have to go wipe my eyes. But Helen Owen and Eddie and Absentia, we love you, Eddie, and we all love Helen, and it's always an honor to have her here at Community Storytelling and get up to date on life. And thank you for being with us today. Do you have somebody you want to nominate? Maybe you want to sit in that chair. It's easy to do. You go to kcat.org. And as always, I thank you so much for being with us at KCAT TV 15. I'm Lissa Kreisler.